Welcome to the tutorial classes. Today's topic for the discussion is corrosion control. Here we are going to discuss at least 4 questions. Out of the 4, 2 can be expected in the examination. So let's see the questions. The first question goes like this. What is anodizing? Describe anodizing of aluminum. So this technique mostly it is applicable to non-ferrous metals and alloys. Non-ferrous means metals other than iron. So imagine this is a metal other than the iron. Here I will take this as aluminium. So what is this anodizing means? The top layer of the metal. I will take a different color so that it is easy to differentiate. So that this is, let me take it as the top layer of the metal. The top layer of the metal can be converted into a metal oxide. I'll just write it as Al2. Metal oxide means Al2O3. By supplying electrons from the external source. So that the top layer is getting converted as, it is completely converted as the aluminium oxide. But inner layer it remains as aluminium. Only the topmost layer it is the metal oxide, the rest will be as aluminium only. And this top layer Al2O3 is going to act as a protective barrier, a boundary. It is going to act as a protective barrier, and it will facilitate the isolation of inside metal. There will not be contact between the inside metal and the outside environment. Let me repeat. See, first of all, you have an aluminum metal. The top layer of the metal is converted into its oxide by supplying the electrons from the external source, and this newly formed layer acting as a protective barrier and isolate the inner metal from the outside environment. Therefore, the corrosion of the inner metal will be prevented. This technique we call it as anodizing. So how do you do this anodizing means? To do the anodizing, aluminum metal is made as anodic in an electrolytic bath with sulfuric acid or chromic acid as an electrolyte, and a thin layer of aluminum oxide, here I have shown no, thin layer of aluminum oxide is formed on the surface. This process is called anodizing of aluminium or anodic oxidation of aluminium. This is the definition. Now, how do we carry out this process? To carry out the process, we need to have certain conditions. My objective is to protect the aluminium metal, so that is taken as a anode in an electrolytic bath. If the diagram is there, I will show. So there, the metal to be protected, aluminum metal is taken as a, what is called as anode. It is connected to the positive terminal of a battery. Let me go back to the previous slide again, and cathode is either steel or copper rod can be taken as the cathode. It is connected to the negative terminal of a battery. Go back to the previous slide. And electrolyte, here I told no, to supply the electrons we need some source. The source of supplying the electrons is 5 to 10% chromic acid. That is taken as electroplating solution. And temperature of the bath, the temperature of this bath is maintained at 35 degree, just above the room temperature. And this is the setup to do the anodizing of aluminium. Initially the voltage will be 0. Once you start applying the voltage from 0 till 50, once the voltage reaches the 50 volt, the top layer of aluminum metal starts dissolving into the solution. I'll just show you by picking up the different color. This is the top layer. The top layer of the metal start dissolving into the solution. See, the temperature is maintained at 35. Voltage is gradually increased from 0 to 50. At 50, it should be maintained for 10 minutes. That time, the top layer of the metal, aluminium, oxidizes to Al3 plus and releases the 3 electrons. This is what is happening in that 10 minutes course. So, once the connections are done, voltage is increased to 50 volt, and then at 50 we have to maintain for 10 minutes. That time what happens is the top layer of the metal oxidizes to release the electrons. Later, the aluminum ion so formed picks up the water present in the electrolyte to form Al2O3 and releases 6H plus. So that means in a short span of time, the top layer gets converted to, this one will be getting converted to, the top layer will be getting converted to Al2O3, Al2O3, Al2O3. So the overall reaction for this is given here. See, first 10 minutes Al oxidizes to release the electron. This Al3 plus combines with the water molecule to form the Al2O3 and releases the 6 plus. This 6 plus move towards the cathode, and cathodic reaction is liberation of hydrogen. Now this Al2O3, it is acting as a protective barrier and it will isolate the inside metal from the medium, thereby reduces the rate of corrosion. Since there is a passage of current, the Al2O3 formed here will be having a minute pores. To block or to close the pores, the article must be immersed in a hot water bath so that the pores get sealed up. Then the article is ready for applications or using. So this is called as anodizing process. This technique is also applicable for magnesium, titanium, chromium, etc. And where are we using this anodized aluminum means? So it can be used in structures and architectural categories and commercial and residential buildings, that is window frames are made up of this one, sliding doors of the offices are made of this one, and furniture, etc. These are some of the examples. You will have to write up to here for this question. Moving on to the next question. What is galvanizing? Describe galvanizing of iron. This is another way of protecting a metal from the corrosion process. So earlier I said that anodizing is applicable for metals other than iron and its alloys. How do you protect the iron metal means we need to go for this technique, that is galvanizing. Let me consider this as an iron metal. This is the iron metal. It is a piece of iron and our objective is to protect this from the corrosion process. So now this iron metal, the top layer will be coated with another metal such as zinc. A process of coating the top layer of the iron metal with zinc by hot dipping process, it is called galvanizing. You can see here the definition. You have a metal like iron. Galvanizing, it is a process of coating a metal surface such as iron with zinc metal. So the galvanizing of iron is an example for anodic coating on the surface of the metal So you can have another metal. How do you carry out this? See, as long as there is a zinc coating on the surface, no harm will happen to the inner metal. Like this, it is possible to protect the metal from the corrosion. To do that, what are the process needed? The first step is, now this is your object means, this object might have some organic impurities such as grease or oil present, so that is why it should be treated with organic solvent. So after cleaning with the organic solvent, it should be washed with water. Later, it should be cleaned with the alkali, sodium hydroxide. Step 1, there are two things. One is cleaning with the organic solvent followed by sodium hydroxide cleaning to remove the residual amount of organic matter if anything is present. Later, the object is cleaned with the water and it is subjected to acid pickle. That means only organic impurities are removed. Now it might have the inorganic impurities like scale and very hard rust present at the surface. To remove that, the object will be immersed in a dilute sulfuric acid or a 10% sulfuric acid, and this process we call it as a pickling process. After cleaning with the water acid, it should be cleaned and dried. Then it is immersed into a zinc bath, that is molten zinc bath, and zinc bath it is covered with a flux of ammonium chloride and a zinc chloride. And this is maintained at 420 to 470 degrees centigrade because at that temperature it will not undergo oxidation. Zinc will not undergo oxidation. Another use of the flux is to protect the metal from the oxidation process. Now the object is immersed in it and it is taken out and it is pressed between the two hard rollers to get a thin and uniform deposit all over the object. That means the excess zinc on the surface is removed by passing through a pair of hard rollers. Now this object after drying, it is ready to make a sheet, fencing wire, bucket, nut, bolt, pipe, etc. So that the durability of the object will increase as long as there is a zinc coating on it. That's how the galvanization process is carried out. Moving on to the third question. This 2C and 2D, it can be clubbed and asked as a single question. Most of the times, the 2C and 2D question, it is clubbed and asked together. So let's see what is sacrificial anode method and how the metal can be protected from the corrosion. So here 2.5 marks only can be allotted for the sacrificial anode technique. Another 2.5 is for the impressed current technique. It's like that. For example, you have a steel pipeline which is below the ground. Steel pipeline, when it will be in contact with the corrosive medium, definitely it will undergo the corrosion. So how to protect this means preferably it can be connected to an auxiliary anode, another highly reactive metal than our original metal. If you compare zinc, aluminum, magnesium, the electrode potential of this are less than the steel pipe. That is why any one out of these can be taken as an auxiliary anode. This is the main metallic structure to be protected and this is the auxiliary anode. These two can be connected by an insulated copper wire. As long as this is there, so this is behaving as a cathode and this will act as the anode. How means a metal with a low electrode potential behaves as anode and a metal with a high electrode potential behaves as cathode. Now, iron and alloy of iron has higher electrode potential. That is why it is called as, once again, this can be taken as cathode. Why? Because electrode potential is high for this. Whereas zinc, aluminum, magnesium, The electrode potential is less when compared to iron, hence it is taken as an anode. Also, according to electrochemical theory, we understood that anodic metal undergoes corrosion and cathodic metal no harm happens. As long as this auxiliary anode is available, no corrosion happens to this. Once this is exhausted, immediately this should be replaced by the new auxiliary anode. Otherwise, if it is left for a long time, the main metallic structure undergoes corrosion. This is called as sacrificial anode technique. Why sacrificial? Because one metal is getting sacrificed to protect the other metal. So I will just read, I have explained, I will just read how much answer to be written. The protection of an iron or steel structure against corrosion by using metal, another metal is called as sacrificial anodic protection. Metals like zinc, aluminium, magnesium and their alloys are more active and supply electrons to the metallic structure or specimen. Results converting the entire anodic areas into the cathodic areas. The reactive metals such as zinc, aluminium, magnesium and their alloys get corroded and hence called as sacrificial anodes. That's about the sacrificial anode technique. Coming to the last question. This is another way of protecting the metal from the corrosion called as impressed current technique. So what do we do in this means? So when a metal it is in contact with a corrosive medium, definitely there is a possibility of flow of a minute corrosion in this metallic structure due to the anodic and cathodic regions formed by themselves. So once you pass a current greater than the corrosion current, it is possible to protect this main metallic structure. Let's see how it is. Now this is a oil tank or sorry, this is a steel pipeline or in place of the steel pipeline, I can also imagine a oil tank or a petrol tank which is buried under the ground. My objective is to protect this structure from the corrosion. This should be connected to the negative terminal of a DC source and another inert anode is connected to the positive terminal. A graphite rod can be taken as an inert electrode. Inert means it do not undergo any sort of reaction. That is connected to the positive terminal. Now, a current greater than the corrosion current is allowed to pass through this. So, before connecting this, using a device called as a potentiostat, it is necessary to measure the corrosion current. For example, the corrosion current is 1.2 volts say. Then the amount of current that you supposed the voltage that you supposed to apply is greater than 1.2 volt. As long as there is a supply of greater than 1.2 volt, this whole metallic structure will behave as a cathode and no part of this will act as an anode and it will be protected. You know, according to electrochemical theory, the cathodic region no corrosion happens. So this type of technique we call it as an impressed current technique. Let me read the answer for your benefit. In this method, an impressed current is applied from a DC source to protect the metal from the corrosion. And here the metallic structure can be converted to the cathode alone. So converting the corroding metal into anode to cathode. The protected metal structure is made cathode by connecting it to the negative terminal of a DC source. The inert graphite is connected to the positive terminal of the DC source. The metal structure being cathode does not undergo corrosion and anode being inert remains unaffected from the corrosion. So if you write this much, you will be getting 2.5 plus 2.5, that is 5 marks. Today we have discussed here 3 questions. One is anodizing, it is a separate question for 5 marks. The second one is galvanizing, separate question for 5 marks. And these two, 2C and 2D clubbed together, it is for 5 marks, 15 marks. If you are thorough with the 15 marks, definitely it is easy to get 10 marks. So 5 marks. Out of these 3, one question definitely it will be asked students. Please be thorough with this.